Hello, everybody. Probably hear the beeping of a microwave in the background. I happen to unmute myself right at the exact wrong time, apparently. Hopefully this is working. Twitch is possibly having some issues at the moment. The viewer list isn't working. My dashboard's currently showing me as offline. I hope other people can see me. If not, then oh well. Let me move something real quick here. Just forgot to Skype. Like having that on the second monitor. Okay, so hopefully I'm a little more awake than last time too. I was extremely tired on Monday. Had a decent night's sleep last night, finally, after being even more tired last night. So a little more lively, hopefully. A little less zombified, kind of dumb look that I'm cultivating. Excuse me while I adjust the camera. Where do we leave off? I haven't said the proper intro. Let me do that real quick. I am Dagenham. I am Dagenham Wall on Twitch. This is Clutter of Cats on Twitch. This is a channel I share with my wife Signa, and she is hopefully getting ready to start streaming some older games, like console games. But I mean like older games like Nintendo and Super Nintendo, stuff like that. She's been prepping for it at least. I don't know when she's going to start exactly, but hopefully that's soon. She's chuckling a little bit, but she is. I don't know when she'll be doing that, but look for that if you're interested. I think one of the games she wants to play is Mother 3, which is... what's Mother 3 part of? Which is part of the Earthbound series. I'm not as big a fan, so I don't know the names of all those things. I do, however, know Ness because he is a jerk in Smash Brothers. Anyway, we did a bunch of work on JSON. Majoritively speaking, we researched it. I found the official JSON library. I had to compile it, though, which I realize is a stupid little thing to have to do. I didn't feel like doing it. Mostly because I was tired. But also because I'd rather have things that come prepackaged just so I don't have to worry about them. And in the long run, I got a little library that does basically the same thing. I believe I saved it up here. Yep. I added it to my project, so my project can access it. And now I can import it like this, so it's available to me. So, I did that. I got that set up at least, and I put some notes in here, if I'm remembering correctly, that I need to add a scheduled task that backs up points, and that's going to be the focus of today. Also, let me get Notepad up. Notepad. I also got a new password for my bot because I had to reset that due to showing it on stream last time. Not that I totally expect someone to do anything, but it's better to be safe than sorry. I don't know who watches these on YouTube, so it's better just to reset that kind of thing. Besides, it's easy to reset. It's that twitchapps.com/TMI. So you can just go there and request a reset, and that invalidates on the old ones anyway. Got that replaced. And I can run that again if I have to. So, okay. Let's do a quick review of the program so far. Here's our main program. It's just called helper bot main. All it does really is it creates the bot and it starts it. That's all it's meant to do. Helper bot itself is the class that houses the viewer list and runs the threads that it needs in order to actually perform the functions that I need it to do. For example, like sending messages. Every 7, I forget how many seconds I set it to, 7 to 10 seconds, it sends out messages. It will only send messages during that time. A couple minor exceptions, but that's here nor there. And then I have user tracking, which is actually looking at who's currently logged in, which I found out I could do using the onJoin method here. Everyone that is flagged as watching the channel gets their points incremented. Everyone that is flagged as not watching the channel does not get points. And that's going to be important later too, because we're going to add in at some point 2 functions, one of which is going to add points to everybody in the list, one of which that's just going to add points to people that are watching. In the event that the bot gets shut down, you need to like, oh, it was down for 5 minutes, here's 5 points. Just in case. So, and we found out that we can't get the user list because Twitch is blocking that in some way. They are preventing us from using that exactly. So I had them, might have deleted it. There was an on-user list, which you're supposed to normally get. Twitch has it disabled. Only returns you. So it's kind of doesn't really do anything. So that's how I found out that this whole onJoin and onPart, these are hopefully accurate enough. It's possible they aren't. Is there any coffee left, or is that just yours? Can I have it? Okay. Sure, thank you. These should allow us to track us who is and isn't watching. All right. All that said, what needs to happen next is we need to have this thread here. Now, I've kind of been toying with this thread ever since Monday too, especially today, because yesterday I was about this close to falling asleep the whole day. I'm worried about creating this thread and then just trashing it later, because I do think I can convert this into SQL, and then tracking users is just, it's live. But at the same time, it's still good practice, and I haven't worked with JSON before, and I am kind of looking forward to that, in all honesty. So yeah, let's do it anyway. Might as well. No harm done in going through extra steps to get to the end. Oh, thank you. That should help make sure that I don't fall asleep during this stream too. Okay. So the thread is going to be called viewer save state. Hold this off to the side. I know there's a couple of things I need. I need to extend timer task. I need that dot utility. There's a bunch of utility functions that are used, or to utility libraries. So I use dot star. You can spell them out specifically if you want, like this one. But I'm using a bunch of them. I use a bunch of them all over the place. So it's kind of is what it is. All right, so I need, instead of public int void, public int sample method, I'm going to replace that with run. You need to use run because run is the function that gets called when you do this. That's what the scheduling tool does. It'll create this class, and it'll create a new one each time while you have this new here. And it'll create a new one in these increments, and then it'll call the run function. Kitty's making noise. Okay. I need to take a copy of the vector of viewers, take a flagged safe viewer state, create a JSON object, loop through the vector, adding elements, and output the JSON to a. Not bad. That's all the important stuff. So I need to take a vector. I need to, what else? Take a Boolean, let's call that. Let's call it save status. That can be yes or no. Copy. I think what I'm going to do here. All right, so I'm going to create its own vector. Of course, the downside to doing this only every other day, I don't remember how all of this works because I can't keep it all in my own active memory. Too much gaming is not necessarily a bad thing. Private vector, and then let's call it backup list, just so we know that it's our backup list. And now I think there is a function to Java vector. Is it clone? Be clone. Clone method is used to copy an existing vector. Copy will have a reference to the clone of the internal data, but not a reference to the original internal. Okay, that is what I want. So, in this case, I'm going to do backup list equals temp vector dot clone. Now, you might be wondering why I want that. I want as few things interfacing with this vector at the same time as possible. So if I've got more than one thing trying to read from this vector, or rather I want to limit the number of things trying to read from this vector at the same time, because there can be potential deadlock issues with vectors and threads. I don't want that. So this should take a copy, which is also a snapshot of that vector, which I can then use to loop through, which is fine. That's perfectly fine. Actually, I need this still. Okay. Okay. Okay, here we go. Here's a little function. Okay. So what I really want, I get the use get to get the element at the specified position of the vector. That's good. I need length or number. Set size, int size, returns the number of components in the vector. That's good. I guess what I need to make sure of, though, is that remove element at. Remove element at to delete components. Each component's vector with an index greater is shifted downward. Okay, that's important. If you do a get on 3, and then you are done with 3, move it. You would then, if it didn't automatically shift down the IDs, you would then have this blank space where you would have 1, 2, 4. That can be a problem because if I'm trying to loop through it one at a time, one index at a time, I'm able to moving things. I think I'm going to be doing that anyway, but it's just a good thing to keep aware of. I do think at the end of this instantiation, I'm going to do I'm going to empty out the vector just to make sure that it's taking up as little space as possible. I don't want it eating up space as long as you run the dam. Ideally speaking, this should have a fairly minimal footprint on your RAM, and it should not grow indefinitely. I mean, it might grow a little bit over time, but you know, it starts out at 2 megs and ends at 200, you've got a problem. And I'll be watching for that, but at the moment it's not something I need to be aware of. It's something I need to be aware of. It's something I don't need to be worried about just yet. Specifically when I turn this on a big stream with like a couple thousand viewers, I want to be able to watch how much memory it's taking up to make sure it doesn't just poof and blow up your computer because it's taking up too much space. But anyway, to help prevent that, this is going to copy the vector, which will take up memory, but it's only doing it once every 10 minutes, and then it's going to empty it right after it's done. So, okay, so this should save the vector. It should save it as a new version of it. And that should allow me to read from it or write to it if I have to without having to worry about colliding with it currently being read or written to by something else, which is deadlocking. Which you can write things to correct or to prevent, but I'm not worried about that yet. I don't have enough people in my user lists. If that comes up, I think I can use array list. I think that's a thing. Java array list. I think it acts similarly to a vector. Like here's add, clear, clone. I think it acts very close to a vector, but it's not quite a vector. And I think I heard that it's immune to deadlocking, like a vector might not be. So, but like I said, we get there. If we need to swap the types, we can swap the types. I really want to stay away from arrays, though, because arrays do not change size dynamic. Okay, so run. Run is going to take that for int I equal to 0, while I is less. Space this out. Backup list.size, I think it is. I++. Now, do that a little quick. Let me review it real quick for people who don't remember what this is. For loops start at one point and they go to another point. They are very incremental. And you can change what they increment by if you desire. Now, int I equals to 0. So I is going to be my index. That's what I'm going to be looping through. And I'm going to start it at 0. This is my condition here. While I is less than size of the array, this loop is going to continue going. And my increment is 1. That's what plus plus means. Okay, so, oh, you know what? I need a couple of things. I'm getting ahead of myself here. So I need a private boolean, and boolean is either going to be true or false. Backup status. Reason I need this is twofold. I need this because I don't know if it's twofold, but I need this because I need it to save the status when the program is running, and then I need it to not save the status when it closes. Two uses. Because of that, I'm going to save it in this true false. So let me just save that. So backup status. It's going to equal save status. Actually, let me change that to temp status. Temp status. There we go. Who is Zach? Hello. Welcome to the stream. I am doing a Twitch chatbot that does loyalty, raffles, and gambling, and probably some random events too. I'm doing it in Java, in BlueJ, as you noticed. Yeah. If you have any questions about it, let me know. I do have all of my previous videos on our YouTube channel, in case you want to catch up. But seriously, if you have any questions, let me know. Okay, so. And what was the third thing? I need the actual JSON object. JSON Java. If I can type Java, it was tutorial point. Oh, tutorials point. Resources, Java tutorial. Here we go. This is not the page I had before. That was Java tutorial. What guy? Okay, I think this is what I was using. Maybe. JSON, Java. Let's do this. Tutorial point JSON with Java. Here we go. This looks more. Okay, so I need this. Oops. Way ahead of myself. There we go. All right. And then let's call this backup output. So we know that this is going to be the information that we are dumping to. So who has accessed so many hour-plus videos? I would never find the time to watch that. I don't blame you. It's a lot of information. I've covered a lot of information too. I've covered a lot of different topics. I've done some threading, some file input output, scheduling tasks, using PerkBot, which is allows me to connect to an IRC channel. I've covered all that stuff through these multiple hours that I've been doing it. So you don't have to. I'm just saying if you want to. I'm actually going to work on retitling some of those videos too, so it's a little easier to tell what they're about. I do also totally get distracted sometimes. These aren't lectures. I'm not sitting here just not taking questions. I'm trying to interact as much as I can without ruining the purpose of the stream. I know you don't really have to watch Mondays. I was just doing research. I saved it for posterity's sake, but it's not covering the information I wanted it to cover. So I'm gonna need all of this. Which means I'm gonna need a Twitch, one of my custom Twitch viewers. Stop. Why do I use BlueJ? Greenfoot. I've never even heard of Greenfoot. I used to use Eclipse all the time. That was my go-to kind of program. I also used NetBeans for a while, which I think is gone, thankfully. So anyway, I used to use Eclipse all the time and haven't played with Java in about 10 years. So I wanted to relearn Java and learn a new IDE at the same time because I don't know. I just felt like it. I didn't feel like going back to Eclipse. I wanted to try something new. So really, no good reason. Just felt like it. And personally, I remember Eclipse does a lot of things automatically, which on the one hand is nice. On the other hand, can get a little obnoxious. Like when you're typing something out and it tries to autofill, and you're like, no, that's not. I don't want that at all. Go away. BlueJ doesn't seem to have that, which is, of course, at the same time good and bad because it also means it doesn't autofill things that you type all the time. It also can't automatically pull class names or functions that it knows. But I still like BlueJ. There are things in this that I really do enjoy. Greenfoot is a very GUI-based IDE for new programmers, like a little kid's programming tool. Interesting, and good for them. It's good to get people into programming because if you didn't know what you were doing and you loaded up Eclipse or BlueJ, you'd probably be overloaded with how much you can potentially do. Like it's got millions of buttons, and none of them are really entirely clear unless you know what they already are. Really fully explain what they do. So it's kind of it's better. I hope they do go more towards that like helping hand with people in terms of you know, here's how you start. You're here. Just need to type some stuff in here. We'll do it. And I really appreciate that. I really do. But personally, I'd be fine with Notepad. I mean, I've done a lot of programming in Notepad. Dumb as that probably is, or Notepad plus plus, or what are the Emacs? Emacs is the other one. Ah, man, I wonder if people still use Emacs. Okay. One thing I didn't look up is putting more than one object at the time. And Inadani says Eclipse can be configured, but people who get scared by buttons will never learn. It's true. It's true. I mean, but it's something that it doesn't have to be as hard to learn as it is, and having all of that stuff all at once is intimidating. And so you get people who might be willing to sit down and learn it and go through it, but you don't want to. I don't know. Like the first time you load up any program, there's that learning curve. You got to get up that steep hill before you level off and you start actually learning and knowing what you're doing. And a bunch of these programming, these GUIs are really intimidating. And Who is Zach says, I do all my PHP in Sublime, but for Java I can't, so I got used to the autocomplete. Yeah, exactly. It's tough. It's tough to get used to it and then not have it, or to have it going when you don't want it. I can never find that happy medium. It's always popping up with something when I don't want it. And I guess I'm focusing on the negatives because I'm sure it works flawlessly for me most of the time. But at the same time, I'd rather have that hands-on and do it all myself as a personal thing. I mean, I don't know. Maybe. What are you gonna do? All right, so input file. Inadani says no one should learn Lisp in Emacs. Huge turn off. I learned programming with Notepad clones. Yeah, me too. That was really I think I used Emacs for a while because most of the programming I was doing was in Linux and Unix, and that's like the native editor there. So they kind of wanted us to learn that and be aware of it at least. And it's a powerful tool, but it is obnoxious to use. I would not personally go back to it if I had the choice. But plenty of people use it, and it's still a very powerful tool. Oh, just tell me what I want to know. Might not be as easy as I thought. Books. Oh. What if this maybe the simple Java doesn't even have simple J. So just to go through what I'm talking about. This is what allows you to put a single object into a string or a stream. And then you can just print it here, and that's what it prints out. I need to be able to do that with multiple objects. Example, JSON object. And I'm just not familiar with the class and not really familiar with how to do this. Let's see if there's some examples here real quick. Coding examples. Here we go. Go to JSON object, single object. If I have to do this one object at a time, that doesn't make any sense. List equals new JSON array. I'm trying to add my, what I'm doing is I'm writing a backup function for my viewer list. So I need to, I'm trying to, and I want to do it in JSON just because I haven't played with JSON before. Probably eventually going to go to SQL, but I'm doing this in really easy steps, just little baby steps the whole way through. So which is part of the reason it's taking me so long to do this. I have this JSON object here, and I need to write all of my Twitch viewers, which is a custom class, to the JSON object so I can dump it to a file. I don't think that I should have to, add each object and then dump each object to a file like that. I think I should be able to add them all in one big, thing. I'm not, oh no, you do. This is balance, no. The way to find what you want is to read the API of the static classes in the library. That's kind of what I'm doing right here. Like, this is the official how to use this library, but part of it's just me not knowing JSON all that well too. So I did a little bit of research on it on Monday, but I'm just kind of trying to figure this out at the same time. I'm wondering if maybe this is a bit of a fool's errand anyway, because I'm going to have to read it back in and get it back into the vector when the file starts back up. So I'm kind of wondering if this is even what I should be doing. I mean, I guess if I should just go back to Notepad and try and write out what I'm trying to do. Which I did do last stream, but I forget how I did it, in all honesty. Name, and that would be Dagenham lol. This is putting values in. That one with the two objects. Merge two, oh, okay, it's a merge of two JSON objects. Because it's only producing one object down. I need to be able to dump an entire vector to this thing so I can dump that to a file. And this is all doing like single objects, although that might be useful. Having an array. List. So maybe what I should do is do something similar to this, where I add the name of the person, and then I add the array as a secondary part that stores the necessary information. So I would have like name like this, and then let's have it has a comma and a comma, and then maybe like info, and then in parentheses we'd have 30.0 points. Let's do a true. Oh yeah, let's do 15.0. And so this would store, the info section would store the 3 pieces of information that are necessary. This, but then I need it to look, I guess, like that, and I don't know if it would then look like that. That's what I'm kind of trying to figure out at the moment. Is that well? Of course, it wouldn't. It would look like balls. Stupid notepad. Here's Cigna, and here's clutter of cats, and then I'm gonna steal one of your names just for this presentation. Who is Zach? Like that. Like this is effectively what I want to store. It's just I'm not really bad at JSON, so I'm kind of trying to piece all this together at the same time. And I did enough research to get my foot in the door on this. I didn't do enough to just sit down and go, haha, here it is, and be done. While pounding my fists furiously on the keyboard, because it's just that easy to me now. Put an ad. All right, maybe I am overlooking something here. Escaping examples, JSP and JAX. That's fine. Java JSON specification, compliance test. No. So 2 options: JSON array of JSON objects, or an object with the name as the key and the sub-object for the associated data, which is sort of what I was doing at least. That in your notepad can be done with JSON object. I know it can be. I'm not. There's add and put, and I suspect they're different. Just not positive as to how. And so I'm trying to figure this out. But JSON array of JSON object. That might be the better option. Ah, yeah, that's. Let me think. I mean, either of those should work. But I'm okay. So you're saying instead of let me copy this here, and we'll do this. So an array, and then an object in the array. Gotcha. Name, dag, and let's just do short names for now, and then points 30.0, and then tickets 15.0, and then watching true, and then do that, and okay, so it would look, if you were to space it out, it would look something like this, which is an array of objects. Okay, that makes more sense to me then. And we can then get rid of that. Of course, each of these being different, like Cigna, clutter of cats. Okay, so the array of objects makes sense. So instead of JSON object here, that should be any windows. that should probably be a JSON array. There. So JSON array, be a new JSON array. Okay. So what this is going to do then, when this instantiates, when this runs, I guess, we're going to do, that's where we're going to make the object, which was demonstrated. It's just, I know I need that. Temp object equals new JSON object. That'll create a temporary thing for me to use. I can then do, then I need to do a Twitch viewer, temp viewer equals new, or no, not new Twitch viewer, do backup list.get I, and then you need to type that Twitch viewer, that. So that should get me the current viewer that I'm looking at. That should get me the temporary JSON object to write to. And at the end of this, that's when I do I want one with both JSON array. I can't remember if it was add or put. Here's put. Oh, they're okay. They're all put. Merge to JSON arrays, JSON array, JSON object. Here we go. So I want list. I want to see where. All right, this does it the opposite way. This adds the list to the object. But I imagine I can do it the other way around. Okay. Okay, so temp object dot put. I think array. Yeah, the JSON array uses add. The JSON object uses put. Thank you for making this easy, guys. All right, put, and then let's do name. And let's do temp viewer dot get name. Temp object dot put. Let's do points. Temp viewer dot get points. Temp object dot put tickets. Temp viewer dot get tickets, and I'll check all the names for these in a minute. And temp object dot put watching. Oh, I probably need to type. Do I? Probably not, because they're being returned as the type they are. Temp viewer dot get watching. I take all that stuff, add it to this object. Then I do backup list, right? That's what I called it. Backup output. Backup output dot add temp object. And that should theoretically add that whole object to the array. That makes sense to me. This is the object I built here. And then this is the array as it loops through the views. Okay. So, that. Get my Twitch viewer up so I can actually check these names. All right, so I have get name, returns a string. I have get watching, which returns a Boolean. I have get points, get tickets. Good. Let's get points. That all easy. All right. So that should now create this nice big array of Twitch objects. Not Twitch objects, God, JSON objects. Now that that's done, I want to clear out the vector just to make sure. Is there like a clear method? Yeah, clear. All right. Since this is a scheduled task, oops, that's not where I want to put that. Oh no, yeah, it is. It's going to fire up and start new every time, so I just want to make sure that I clear out the memory as best as possible. So I'm going to do backup list.clear. That should clear out the array. Let me check that to make sure. The method removes all of the elements from the vector. Good. And after that, I should be able to print out. I hate you. There we go. To print out that that array. Here we go. Which it kind of sounds like I can just print to a file. Test. Let's grab some input output. Save viewer state. Write test, I need these two. All right, so instead of utility, I need input output. Let's copy this whole thing. Let's call it backup.txt. Buffer writer, file writer. And instead of that, I should, theoretically, be able to this. And that's fine. As far as I'm concerned, it's fine to write it all to one line. I don't mind that. It's it'll be hard to read, but it doesn't have to be easy to read. This should theoretically just be something that you don't have to open up on your own. So that is kind of what I'm shooting for here. Also, let's do system.out.println. Starting backup, just so we can track that this is functioning. And then let's do another one down here. Backup. Backup. Complete. Just so we can tell if it's doing anything, or at the very least, so we can make sure it's getting into this function. And that'll just print to the terminal. Okay. All right. Viewer save state is the name of the class. Take a copy of the object, so that should be fine. Flag to save the viewer state. We're not checking that yet, so I'm going to leave that in. Create a JSON object, loop through the vector, adding elements, output JSON object to a file. That should be good. Okay. Backup list, backup list. All right. So viewer save state is the name of the class. spelled it correctly. So let's actually helper bot. Bot save timer is the name of it, so I can do bot save timer dot schedule new viewer save state. I didn't put bot. I didn't put bot in it this time. I should have this dot viewer list, and let's just do true for now. Oh, oops. And then I need, let's fire this up at 8 seconds, and let's do something like the user tracking is 60 seconds. It's in milliseconds. So I'm gonna do a pretty large number here. I don't want it to. I only want it to run them one time. 1,000 seconds. That's pretty good. Okay. So this should, when this runs, it should. It'll get the settings, which is in a file, a flat file. It'll get the viewers, which again is from another flat file, which is not currently in JSON, what will end up changing. It's going to set the name of the bot, which it gets from the settings, and it's going to connect to the channel, join the or connect to the server, join the channel, and then it's going to schedule these little guys here. And those are what run this. Okay. Let's save it. Let's do the good old compile test. Oh wait, there's already an error. Oh, did I not? Oh, whoops. That. Yeah. Me brain good. What? Ooh. Oh, yeah. Warnings. Or no, wait. Cannot find. Cannot find symbol JSON array? This is from your official site. Oh. Port JSON or. Oh. Ow. Yeah, that's. I didn't even think of that. Oops. Good call. Who is Zach? Eclipse would do that for me. I don't doubt that. Incompatible types. Up list as a vector. Temp vector. Oy. Oh wait, it's actually a type clone? Oh, okay. I probably have to do that. Didn't even think of that. Yeah, it probably needed that cast. No suitable method found for write. JSON array. Alright, what am I doing wrong there? Coding examples. Encode a JSON array, encode a JSON array streaming. So this does string writer out equals dot write JSON string out. Okay. So you do write JSON string to, I guess, to buffered writer. Copy that. Backup output race string, and then instead of out, do buffered writer. JSON value dot to JSON string. I think it's write JSON string in this case. Maybe? No errors for that. So at the very least, it's worth a shot. Args. Oh, there it is. Running backup complete. Well, check that out. So it did put some line breaks in. So watching is set to false, which makes sense because the bot just started up. It didn't even receive all the joins yet. Here's the name, here's the points, and here's the tickets. Look at that, all the values are dynamic. Like that actually pulled the values from the array. Cool. There it goes. You can see that took like a full minute to get the on joins to fire. Just to set people as true to watching. And you can see here's you two guys there. So it does pick up people. This is effectively the list of viewers. You can see it only wrote the 3 viewers out, but that's because it hadn't received the join commands yet, join messages yet, in order to actually get them. So what are you gonna do? I kind of wish this was one line though. I'm not positive as to why it didn't. But now we do need to implement decoding, so let me close it. And then clear that. Close that. Okay. Still, really good. And actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap init viewers. Settings. Get settings can stay for now. Init viewers. This is going to swap over to decoding now. Encoding. Encoding example. Decoding. Decoding example. What the heck? Oh, okay. That's its test string. Man, why couldn't you make that a little more readable? Okay, so this is the input string. JSON value.parse. Okay, so that's going to parse that string into an object. And then it's going to turn that object into an array, JSON array, which then prints the first element of. Two equals. Okay. Okay, so then this is getting the first element of the array. It puts the first element into its own object, and then it prints out the first field of that object. Good lord. Oh my. Parse. Reuse an instance of a JSON parser. Array, exception handling, container fetch. Create containers for parse JSON. Oh, that's kind of cool. Well, actually, my one worry here. Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Okay. That didn't even register. Get with one in quotes is actually going to get this, whatever the heck this is. It's going to get this value, which in this case, how far that goes. Java and JSON don't mix well, says Who is Zach. You are not entirely incorrect on that. That's for sure. This is a little bit of a pain in the neck. It's but still, it's still good to know. And Inodani has it. You get a file reader to read in the whole thing, which is what effectively what this S does, and then you set an object to the parsing of it, and then swap that over to an array, and then you can run get one through whatever, and then you can use get and then the name of the field in order to get the value. Okay, so get on a JSON array returns the object. Get on a JSON object gets the value for that field. Holy cow. Okay. Even if this isn't used in the long run for viewers, it's still probably going to be used for settings, like what options you have checked off. This is a freaking octopus. Oh man. Okay. You need to include JSON parser. I need to include JSON value. Yeah, I'll probably need a big try catch or try fail. We'll try it without that first, obviously, so we can see the exact error if it happens, but it's good to have some of those in there once you've got programmed to a state where you think it's shippable. Okay, so what's this do? Buffered reader. I can't really do that, can I? This is kind of why I wanted it to, if it printed it out to one line, I could just do buffered reader read line, and that would pull in the entire thing. But I mean, I guess I could use that if I can't find something else. I could use that to build a string that just contains the entirety of the file, ignoring the line breaks, and then pass that string to the parse function. But buffered reader Java. Let's see if we can get it to just yank the whole contents of the file. Read. It's using read line. I definitely don't need. Oh man. characters into a read in a line and save it to a string. Yeah, you know what? For the sake of trying to get this done tonight, I think that's what I'm going to do. Read line is not equal to null. Oh wait, this is this is okay. All right, I'm going to comment this out because I don't want to lose this just yet in case this doesn't work. All right, so let's do string line. Let's just use that. Let's just use line. Okay, so oh no, let's not use line because in this case that's not going to work. String. There's also file input stream to read the file in one chunk. I don't know. I'm just going to do it like this for now. We can always come back and change it later. Let's just call it whole file, just so I don't have to do as much. Let's just set this to nothing. Okay, so we're going to set whole file equal to whole file plus line. Right? I shouldn't have to do anything else. That should get the whole file into a variable of whole file. Keep putting them on the end. And then I can do my decoding here. Oh, which, of course, include array. I need my object. I might just do star. But yeah, let's swap this to star because I'm going to need a bunch of things. And rather than having 3 entries, let's just include the whole shebang. Okay. So this should loop through the entire thing and continually tacking on string. I realize there's easier ways to do this, like file input stream. Maybe we'll do that later. In fact, let me put a note in. Possibly swap to file input stream. Okay, so this should get the whole string. This then closes it. That should all be fine. Let's do the rest of this outside of that try catch. That's down there. Yeah. These are for specific exceptions. Okay. Decoding examples. Okay, so we're going to copy this directly. Object equals, instead of parse s though, it's going to be whole file. We're just going to go ahead and steal this next line. Oops. JSON array equals JSON array of object. Okay. And actually, let's do this first. Let's see if we even get that far. Ah, man, I don't like naming this array. Let's do temp array. Just not a fan of using things that are potentially saved words. But anyway, we've got the whole file in this one string. We send that to a parser, a JSON value parser, which gives it to an object. The object gets converted to a JSON array. This should then print out that element. If that works, we can go through and add our users like we did here. So, let's check this out first. Run it. Oh. I'm not pointing it to the right. I'm going to point it to the backup file. That's probably a good sign, though, because that meant that it was actually trying to do something. I think that's just run. Okay, so that's the first person there, so it is working. Oh, and of course I just overwrote my backup. Oh, that was dumb. But I can copy this in there a couple times. I should have backed up my backup. It's fine. It's really not that big a deal. It looked something like that. There are commas. That. So I'm actually going to rename my old viewers as viewers old and take my backup and change my backup to viewers. Let's clear that. Okay, so now I should be able to come in here and swap. It's just on. Swap backup to viewers. That was my mistake. Trying to get this done too quickly. Okay. So this worked. That printed out the first element. Now I just need to get the values out of it. Get 1. Oh, I need to check out JSON array and make sure the size of it. Keeping in between JSON and Java and performance test. I have a whole list of functions I can use. The backup is to make sure that in case there's an error, like especially while the bot is running like a raffle. You've got the raffle running. The idea is just to back it up, just in case, because there have been instances where I've been in a stream and the bot just crashed and he lost a lot of stuff. So rather than losing everything since the last time you restarted the bot, this is to back things up and to make sure that you at least have only lost about 10 minutes worth of time. Is the idea. But why does this not have full feature set, like what everything this thing can do? Downloads? No. bundles, jars. 1.0. I'm using 1.1.1. Seriously, it. I guess it's a list. Oh, whoops. Java. I want to get the number of elements in this. Size. Okay. So I'm hoping, by the look of it, they implemented the same functions as list. Viewers, and I have backup. Backup is going to be overwritten. Viewers is just going to be read. This. Backup's going to be overwritten, like I said. So, okay, so viewers is my save state. Backup can be gotten rid of. So I should be able to do temp array.size. Let's just run this real quick. File that just to make sure that I can use the function. Errors, that's always a good sign. Run it. 3, good. Okay, I can use size, which means I can loop through it and build the vector of users out of that. Fantastic. Give it another couple seconds. CLOSE. All right. We are getting somewhere. Also, let me do, I haven't done this in a while. Set the Java virtual machine. Okay. So I have size. All right, let's do another for int I equal to 0 while I is less than temp array, array dot size. Let's just do that, I plus plus. That, and then let's copy what's in here. Change it around anyway. Instead of doing substrings, should be able to do temp array dot get I. I need to type that first. JSON object, was it? JSON object equals array dot. So JSON object temp viewer. Just do that. And we can do temp viewer equals that. So that should give me that, and then I can do temp viewer dot get name and points should temp viewer dot get points. Oh, whoops. Temp JSON. viewer list done. Okay. I think I have temp viewer declared up here. Good. Okay. So this should loop through the array of JSON objects. It should get the name and points. I'll leave out the other two values for now of each person, and it should add them to the array. Then the backup should then save them. This is all going to happen very quickly, so it's really just going to take the current viewer file and dump it to the backup file, which is fine. That's perfectly fine. But let me delay it another couple seconds. Let me delay it so it'll run after 10 seconds have passed. Okay. If this is working, I think we're good for the night. File. Oh. Title type. String. Double. File. Run. Terminal. Oops. Closed it. Complete. All right, so let me check out my backup file. That looks right. It's got a time code of right now. And it didn't save any of the tickets, which is good. It just set them all to watching false, which is fine. I think they were true in the. So that looks like it is it for tonight. All right. So we have a backup process now that looks like it's functioning. What's next time? Let me think. Oh, also, I'm not going to be able to stream on Saturday. Most likely. Sounds like we've got plans on Saturday. So I'll probably try and stream on Friday night. But that might not be any good, too. Because of BlizzCon. Going to be on. Probably going to be watching a lot of that. Oh, God, Inadati makes a good point. The next step is to make it persist the viewers upon closing. That's exactly, yeah, that's a good next step. When the bot is closed, it dumps a file, and to the viewer file, not to the backup file, because the backup file should probably remain separate in the event of something going wrong, whereas the viewer file should be, what's it called? I even have this set up to do it. It's this here. And also, in all honesty, I should probably move these things to an actual close function. Or at least some of them. These two. Oh crap. I forgot to cancel my scheduled bot save timer. Cancel that. So, cancel. That's part of the reason I reset the Java virtual machine, is to make sure I get anything that I might have left running. So yeah. So let's put a note in here. Dump users to file upon closing. And let's add another one in where move most of this to a function that includes file. Okay. So once that's in place, so what we'll probably start off with is I'll update this close function a little bit, and then we'll make sure it's persisting on viewers, and then we'll make sure that it grabs all the viewers that have joined, which fortunately is like a minute later, but we'll we'll change this so it's down a bit, and we'll let that run enough times until it catches the new people, and we can see them in the backup file. Once they're in the backup file, we can close it, make sure it's saving them so that the next time it starts up with them in there, and we can actually start tracking all this. Then, and then it might be time. I've got a couple of options at that point. It's either time to start making the on message more complicated and getting things like raffles and gambling in place, or it's time to start looking at interfaces. My other idea. Might be time to start working on the user interface for this so that we can actually see, start creating buttons and everything. And that's a big undertaking, obviously, but but we are very rapidly getting to that point, which is very cool. Very, very cool. I can delete that. And interfaces should be a good topic. I'm hoping that we can get some more people in here. Not that I don't really appreciate the hell. Just a little bug. Oh. Okay. What? You're just what? Wow, this is. Okay, I'm going to a different one. All right, good, that's working. Ooh, are you gonna work? Oh my. oh, okay. I don't totally understand what I did. Okay, I'm gonna work on this after I get off the stream. I'm gonna leave this on some text that it actually looks like I've been working. And say thank you everybody for showing up today. Thank you for sticking around past my normal end time of 7. I do stream normally on Mondays and Wednesdays, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I have a tendency to go a little late, especially when I'm actually getting a lot of stuff done. And yeah. Yeah, good set of steps today, and I will try to stream on Friday. I will not make any promises due to the fact that we might have minor things going on. I'm definitely not, well, I shouldn't say I'm definitely not streaming. I'm probably not streaming Saturday either, which would bump me back to November 10th being the next day. Which I realize it's a while away, and I don't necessarily like doing that, but I do lead a relatively busy life. I have things I do. I do work full time. I came home from work and started doing this immediately. I do appreciate you guys stopping by. I do appreciate the conversation. I hope we can all learn some things. And to comment on Zach, he just said most people program games. I plan on moving into games after this. This is the first project I wanted to do because I wanted to do it in Java. After this, there's a couple of ideas I have. Might even go into phone apps. It would also be really cool, like phone app games. Whatever you want to call them. Either phone games, or I might get I just lost all the words in the English language. They just all fell right out of my ear. I might get a game engine, and actually make Windows games instead that maybe we can even put on Steam. For some reason, people don't program in Java on here. There's a good reason for that. Java is very portable, which makes it very useful, but it's also not as strong, and I don't know. I love it, and it's a really good learning language, but it lacks the strength of C++ or the ease of some other languages. And so, I don't know. It's got its ups and downs, as any language does. I think it's a little bit harder to program games in it, or people aren't writing engines for it. So generally they don't do it. But hey, for a Twitch bot, Java's fantastic because of, let's risk this. There it goes. Okay. Because of PerkBot. PerkBot was pre-built. I was able to download that and start using it immediately. Really useful program. Can't believe this is right there. Ooh, there we go. This is really, really weird. Ugh. I don't know what the hell I did. But I'm going to try and fix that. Anyway, before I get too off course and start blathering until infinity, thank you for joining. I hope to see you all again soon. Like I said, Mondays and Wednesdays, 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Those are pretty much my guaranteed days. I usually try and stream on Saturdays. This Saturday's no good. That's the second one in a row, and I'm sorry. Not much I can do about it, though. But hope to see you again. If you want to see my other streams, I do have them on our YouTube channel, so you can check them out there. And see you all again. Thank you for stopping by.